Now the next equation is v square is equals to u square plus 2as, right? And the same statement is applicable here. If an object is moving in a straight line with an initial velocity u meter per second with a constant acceleration a meter per second square, and if after t seconds the velocity will be v meter per second, then we can say v is equals to u plus at, and also if the distance covered by the particle or the object is s here, so we can directly say s equals to ut plus half of at square. We already have proved these two equations by the algebraic method. Now it is the time to prove the last equation, that is v square plus u square plus 2as, right? So what we need to do is simply we have to do a squaring to the both sides for the first equation. That means v is equal to u plus at. If we squaring the both side, what we have, v square is equals to u plus at whole square, right? In the next line, u square plus 2uat plus a square t square, right? I'm repeating again. We apply the formula. Simply we know that a square plus b square plus 2ab, right? Here it is the same thing, that is u plus at whole square. So the u square plus 2uat plus a square t square. So here the next line, v square plus, if we take the common, right, 2a. If we take the common 2a here, so the first term should be simply ut, right? Because 2uat. So if you take 2a common here, that means the first term should be ut, and the second term must be started with half, because here is a 2a, that means a 2. If we don't take here half, it will be not balanced. So that means we have to take half. We have to start the term with half. So half here, only a because a square, so that means half of a t square, right? So if the 2a have been taken as a common, that means that the consecutive terms will be 2a into ut plus half of at square. In the next line, v square plus 2a, here is a twist, ut plus half of at square is nothing but the distance covered by the particle, that is s. We also know that the equation we have proved also. So that means v square is equals to u square plus 2a into s, right? Because instead of ut plus half of at square, we can write s. So we have proved v square equals to u square plus 2as. If the initial velocity is 0, you directly can written as, right, v square equals to 2as. In the previous equation it was same, s equals to ut plus half of at square. If your initial velocity was 0, that means if u is equals to 0, you can directly write v square, s equals to normally at square. Right? So now let me tell you what is the significance or what is the utilization of these three equations. And let me come to the first one. First one is the v equals to u plus at. Suppose you have to determine in any kind of problem, right? You have to determine the final velocity, that is v. But the value is given in the question, the value is given in the problem, that is the initial velocity, that is u, and the acceleration, the constant acceleration, and also time. You can directly find out the final velocity from this equation, v equals to u plus at. Or if you have, if you want to determine any parameter, right, v or u or t, right, or a even, if you want to determine any parameter, if the others are given in your question, in your problem, you can directly do this. So then, in the second, if you have to determine the distance covered by the particle, that is the s, you can directly do this by this ut plus half of at square. Suppose sometimes you have to determine the value s, sometimes the s is not given, the others are given, sometimes you have to determine, sometimes s is given but the u or t or a is not given, so you have to do your problem by using this equation. And the utilization of the next is what? V square equals to u square plus 2as. A lot of people ask me the same question, that is we have already the equation as a v equals to u plus at, and we also have the equation v square equals to u square plus 2as. Why both the equations are using for determining the v, determining the final velocity? That is because of simply for the first equation, if the u, a, t, these values are given in the question, for the next is the twist, v square equals to u square plus 2as. That means the s must be given in the question. right? So you have to judge, and you have to find out, you have to ascertain that what the parameters are given in your question, and then you have to decide what the equation should be used to solve the problem. Understand?